Hello, this is Reverend Sue Edwards from Hucknall Central Methodist Church and Eastside. You're probably wondering why I'm online, or maybe you're not. We should have been having our Lent study tonight of week 3, but because many of you are isolated and cannot leave your home, we thought we would do this online, and we could also send notes and the questions and even the books to you, where our study is from Journeying Through Lent with New Daylight. They're daily Bible readings and material for us to look at. What we're actually looking for this week is glowing with God's grace, and this is Matthew chapter 5 verses 13 to 16. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt loses its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, but is thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. The reflection from this Bible piece says, if we put the Beatitudes into practice, we become the salt of the earth. We don't accept the world's values, so we stand out and give a distinctiveness to the whole. We're like light, which makes a difference to the whole room. We don't have to be flashed about, just put on a candlestick to shine steadily. Even a tiny flame enables people to see in the dark. We have to tread the fine line between being different from the world, not swallowed up by its values, not losing our savour, and being proper salt and light, which enhances whatever it comes into contact with, not overwhelming it, but bringing out the flavour or colour of what is already there. It's not for us to judge the world, that's what only God can do, but to draw out its good side. Accordingly, our faith shouldn't be focused on ourselves. It's not about self-improvement to make us wonderful people. Instead, it's about what we can do for others, for all people whom God loves. Together we can build up a kingdom of people who turn towards God and find their true fulfillment in Him. As Hubert von Zeller wrote, Considerations, Templegate, 1974, Jesus has invited us to enter into His light. He has asked us not merely to reflect it, but to be it. Then it's not glitzy and superficial. Think of your favourite film star. You might describe their performance as luminous when they truly inhabit a part. Imagine yourself glowing with God's grace like that. Meanwhile, just a grain or two of salt can add a certain extra something. We can each make a difference, however small. We move on to our questions. If you have a book, they're on page 58. So we're talking about salt of the earth. How do we enhance others' lives? Well, firstly, what does salt of the earth mean? We actually call people that, don't we? Oh, yes, he's the salt of the earth. It means usually they're a good person and that they will do anything for anyone. But our first question asks, what's your definition? Come up with a definition of a person who is salt of the earth. What would they be like? So question 2, how close to this definition do you feel you are at the moment? Personally, I would like to think that I was that, the salt of the earth. I try my best with everything, but I'm not certain whether all would agree. And at the moment, it's hard to think about what we could do always, especially if you're feeling that you're part of the vulnerable group with the coronavirus around us. What can we do? So maybe you're not feeling like the salt of the earth, but there is something that you can do. So we go on to question 3, which asks of us, how can we be salt and light as a group, as individuals, as a church, in our communities? At this time, you will know that church buildings are closed, but that doesn't mean that church stops. Church is the people, not the building. There are groups being formed in communities to help others, to direct them to the shops, to buy baby milk, nappies, get prescriptions, and yes, the toilet roll. I met a neighbour just this morning from the area where I used to live. She's self-employed, she's not ill, and she was posting cards through letterboxes for all the neighbours that she knows, all that live around her, ready to shop for them or to help in any way. We can all do our part, even if we can make a phone call, write a letter, send an email. There are just many things that we can do. As a circuit, and as we join with Nottingham North East, we're also thinking about how we can still be church. And so we're thinking about the different ways we can still be church online and in the community and by delivering things to your door. So watch this space. As churches together, we really need to show that we are churches together in about what we do for other people. How can we support each other and support you? So question 4, how can we draw out the good side of the world? Well, at the beginning of this week, or even the end of last week, we were hearing about panic buying, people overbuying more than what they actually need, even fighting in shops and pushing others out the way, getting angry, complaining at the shop assistants who have even gone into the shops on their day off just so that we can have some food and toiletries in our cupboards. But on the news recently, I have seen a young woman with a baby who decided she wanted to do something to help others and set up a community group. Even on the news just today, a nursery in Leicester had its toddlers doing paintings for people to brighten their day. Through chaos and struggles, we do see signs of hope, people who are of salt and light. And the final question, what small difference will we commit to making this week? It is Lent, and especially at this moment, we will find that we have space. I should have been looking forward to a sabbatical away at different places, spending time with families and friends that live quite a distance from me. But I'm actually going to have a sabbatical, but it's going to be in a different way. It's going to be a time to think, a time to look at my faith, take stock of myself perhaps, a time to be and a time to do. There are all those things that we put off till tomorrow, aren't there? But maybe, in a way, and hoping for a better future in the end, maybe we can make life better, more bearable for others. So God bless you over this coming week and whatever you decide to do. If you do need help or need to contact someone, then please get in touch with us. We are thinking of you all, but let us be mindful and care for each other. I have a prayer which I'm going to read to you at this moment, and it's written by the President of Conference. Loving God, if we are ill, strengthen us. If we are tired, fortify our spirits. If we are anxious, help us to consider the lilies of the field and the birds of the air. Help us not to stockpile treasures from supermarkets in the barns of our larders. Don't let fear cause us to overlook the needs of others more vulnerable than ourselves. Fix our eyes on your story and our hearts on your grace. Help us always to hold fast to the good and see the good in others. And remember, there is just one world, one hope, one everlasting love, with baskets of bread for everyone. In Jesus we make our prayer, the one who suffered, died, and was raised to new life, in whom we trust these days and all days. Amen.